What are some of the facts about Social Security that you may not know? There was a recent survey done of 1,000 respondents, and some of the questions that were asked and some of the answers that people gave kind of leave you scratching your head that a lot of people don't really know some of the fundamentals about Social Security. And what's important to know about Social Security is that the sad reality of where people's finances are is pretty tough. I mean, you're gonna, for most Americans, they're gonna be relying on Social Security, particularly when you consider that 64% of Americans have less than $10,000 in retirement savings. And in fact, 46% claim to have nothing in retirement savings. So certainly want to get your facts straight on Social Security, because for a lot of folks, it's going to be the largest piece of income that you have in retirement. So welcome back to the program here on Dollars and Cents, where we help you make sense out of all of life's decisions involving your dollars. We're Central Florida's longest running radio program, coming to you now on 92.7 WMMB, along with News Radio Orlando, WFLA, and 96.9 The Game. We also happen to be one of the top 25 financial planning podcasts on the World Wide Web. So make sure you check us out on your favorite podcast channel of choice. Any problems finding our particular channel on your podcast format, just go to our website, nelsonfinancialplanning.com. Upper right hand corner, click on the icon that looks most familiar to you, and you will get immediately directed over to our channel. Along with, you'll see that we also have a YouTube channel where here on Sunday mornings we video the program as well, so you can kind of see what the format looks like. It's kind of a format that still looks like a little pandemic-y because we're doing it from home and the producer is back over in the studio. My name, of course, is Joel Garris. I'm a certified financial planner, certified financial fiduciary with Nelson Financial Planning, where our team of certified financial fiduciary stands ready this week to help you change your life with a successful and cost-effective financial plan. So some of the dramatic numbers that came out as a result of this survey: Social Security is, for most people, a major part of their income that they will be getting in retirement. And so there was a recent survey that asked a variety of questions, and some of the questions, and sadly the answers, were kind of way off. So we thought we would spend some time sort of talking through some of these basic Social Security facts that you need to know. So first one, just 30% of respondents gave the correct answer as to what age Social Security can start. The correct answer is age 62, but put a little asterisk beside that for two reasons. Number one, 62 is not your full retirement age. Your full retirement age, for most people, rapidly approaching age 67. They've moved that needle so that your full retirement age is 67. If you're approaching that age right now, you may find that it's 66 and 4 months or 66 and 6 months. The reality is that for most people now, it is age 67. So two things to know, referencing to your full retirement age, is that number one, if you are working, and that means working and going to a job and getting a paycheck, W-2, that kind of thing, then you are limited to how much you can work and collect Social Security. So if you're earning more than $19,000, your Social Security, you're gonna have to pay some of that back because you're over the earnings limit. Now that earnings limit applies up until the time until you reach your full retirement age. Similarly, if you take it early, it is subject to a reduction. So if your full retirement is age 67 and you decide to take it at 62, your benefit, and it's the benefit that if you've ever looked at your Social Security statement, the one that appears on the front page in bold print, that number, if you're taking it at 62 and your full retirement age is 67, it's going to be 2/3 of that number that appears on the sheet, because it is subject to a reduction if you take it early. So certainly something to know about what age you can take it at, but understand that there's also some implications on that when you do that. Folks over the age of 65 were a little bit more accurate on predicting the average monthly benefit that you would get from Social Security. The reality is that younger folks, of course, were least accurate because further away and didn't really sort of appreciate how much money they're going to put into that program over the course of the next 40 or 50 years of working. The correct answer, the average Social Security benefit per month comes up to $1,514. So $1,514. That's not a lot of money. So another thing to understand about these Social Security facts is that you've got to listen to the earlier parts of the program about making decisions now to put you in better shape for your future. Because if you're banking on the $1,514 you're going to get from Social Security as somehow covering your retirement, that's going to be a little tight, if you will, on the expenses. So Social Security rules often are pretty complex. Some of the rules out there that the survey asked about were whether both people could collect at the same time. The answer to that is yes. You can actually collect on your spouse's record as well, and it does not, even a divorced spouse, even if were married to them for 10 years, it doesn't impact their Social Security. Okay, so even though you may be collecting on their record, it doesn't impact the amount of Social Security that they're going to get. So understand you can collect off your spouses or, in fact, your ex-spouse as well. Yes, Social Security does pay disability benefits as well. So that's another form of Social Security benefit. There's a retirement benefit, but there's also a disability benefit as well. Those are both separate and distinct from each other, but they're all part of the Social Security umbrella. Another statistic on it, 43% didn't know that you could receive Social Security in conjunction with your spouse. The answer, of course, there is yes. The other piece that I think people forget is just how many years folks or Social Security is looking at when it's calculating your benefit. When the Social Security benefit is calculated, it's based upon the average of 35 years of work, not like the highest 5 or the best 10 or whatever the other parameters might be. No, Social Security looks at your full body of work, your full lifetime of occupation, and ultimately looks at it on a 35-year average. So understand, it's not just a handful of years, it's really taking a look at the whole picture. The other part that we always like to mention on when we're talking about Social Security is a lot of conversation about Social Security running out of money. What's interesting about that is when you hear that expression, it doesn't mean that it is going to zero. It just means that by the year 2037, there's not going to be enough money that's going to be available to cover the benefits as they are currently stipulated. And in fact, could potentially lead to a 25% reduction in those benefits. Now, obviously, a lot can change between now and 2037, right? And some of it may be a higher full retirement age, which certainly has happened in the past, higher taxes as well to generate out more income for the program itself. But just know that when you hear that Social Security is running out of money, that doesn't mean the same thing as you or I running out of money. If we run out of money, we got nothing left. When Social Security runs out of money, or at least as that term is kicked around in the media, the reality is that it just means that they're not going to be able to pay out at the same level that they were going to be able to pay out. Because, of course, with Social Security, right, every paycheck that everybody in America is paid winds up having a portion of that go directly to Social Security, which then turns around and pays the benefit. So it's not going to run to zero because you still have all these people working and paying in each and every day here in America. So what are some of the ways in which you can get more informed? We're going to give you 2 ideas here. First and foremost, you certainly want to talk to an expert. Our team of folks at Nelson Financial Planning consists of a variety of experts. We've got a CPA, an IRS enrolled agent. We also have a National Social Security advisor. That's Rob there at the office. And so ultimately, those folks have the expertise to really try and help develop a particular Social Security income plan for you. So number 1, always good to talk to an expert. And number 2, always good to get good information. And the best place to get information about what your Social Security may be is Social Security itself. So one of the things that you want to do is try and set up an online account. Very hard to get anybody on the phone these days. So set up an online account, and then that way you can see exactly what your numbers are going to be. Just simply go to www.ssa.gov. Make sure the GOV is on there at the end. Otherwise, you may wind up with a site that you don't want to go to. And ultimately, that site, once you set yourself up, allows you to view your Social Security statement and get an estimate of future benefits as well. So some good information there in terms of how you can better stay informed about all of these Social Security facts. You don't want to be one of these folks that doesn't even know what the starting age of Social Security is or anything like that. So some good information there on Social Security. We're going to take a break. When we return, we're going to continue on with some of the questions of things to be thinking about today as you approach retirement. Coming up next here on Dollars and Cents with Joel Garris, News Radio WFLA Orlando 96.9 The Game and 92.7 WMMD.